You are in the zone. Alrighty, the disclaimer, the views and opinions expressed in this podcast are purely those of the individuals voicing them and do not represent the values of the sponsors of the platforms on which this podcast is hosted. Welcome. You are in the zone with Swagman and Cranky. Today's episode, we are going to be touching on packed lunches, aren't we, Cranky?
Mm-hmm. The fuel that keeps us going and going and going, because
Indeed.
heaven knows during a long-ass day standing on your feet, what you really want is something that's actually healthy to eat and not continual supplies of KFC.
Yes, which on those long nights, it's so easy to order Uber Eats and just have Domino's dropped off, which I have done on multiple occasions.
But we're also going to cover the long nights where things like Domino's and Uber Eats are not available.
Yes, exactly. What do you essentially pack in yours? What do you?
Well, I have a variety of things, but I normally have some sort of biscuit with either tuna or some sort of dip to spread on them. That's for morning tea. I normally carry a couple of lollies just in case there's, someone on site's going to have a sugar crash. That happens. And not a sugar crash,
sugar low. They get the
sugar.
hyper, they get the sugar high, and then they have the sugar crash.
Yeah. Blood sugar drop. That's what it is.
Yes, the blood sugar drop, yeah.
Yeah, and for lunch, like main lunches, I normally take leftovers from last night's dinner or just, I don't know, whatever I can.
Speaking of which, I think we're going to be having lasagna for tonight.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good heavy one.
That's a nice one to pack for your lunch.
Some of those cold winter nights, you need to be carb loading, and lasagna is a good one to take.
Yeah, indeed. Especially tonight, if you're out there doing traffic control tonight, it is raining. It is freezing. It's cold.
Yep.
I'm in an hoodie right now. That's how cold it is. Last night I was in an hoodie with the heater going.
Yeah.
So it is, tonight if you're doing traffic control, definitely going to feel it.
I took my kids off to Vivid last night, and the poor little things.
Yeah, they would have felt that.
That got cold towards the end, and both of them, both boys anyway, were in hoodies and hoodies, so they were doubling up on the layers.
Oh man, well, we ended up this weekend going Disney on Ice.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
It was really cool. We ended up catching the train, not thinking much of it. I just took a leather jacket. The kids took their normal jackets. Walking all the way there, it was a bit windy and a bit chilly. Get inside, you would think Disney on Ice, it would be freezing in there. Now you get in there, and I was taking my jacket off because it was bloody hot. And I'm thinking, oh my God, it's hot in here.
It's only the floor of the ice rink that they need to keep cold.
Yeah, it was the flooring. It was still semi-cold. Like, you could feel it towards the end. And I was like, oh, I need my jacket back on, But, yeah, at the start, it was like, damn, it's actually quite warm in here, It was like, well, it wasn't too warm, but it wasn't too cold either. Like, you could tolerate it, but you didn't need a jacket on or anything. But
it's mostly
if you're working
wind.
Tonight, you're going to need that jacket, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's a cold one.
Even here, it's bloody cold here. What's the temperature outside right now? My watch is telling me...
I reckon it's like minus 1,000 outside for us here in Perth because it's that bloody cold. But that's the other thing, taking flask of coffee or something warm or chicken soup, taking that on the road with you if you're working on cold nights. Especially those flasks that last up to 15 hours where it keeps it, you can either put hot or cold food in it. So you can essentially have multiple flasks with you, hot food, cold food, or, anything you want to really take with you that's liquid form that you can either heat up or whatnot, and it keeps it extremely hot. So
Mm-hmm.
give an idea. I've got a flask that I think on it says 15 or 18 hours or something on it.
Yeah.
And I put my coffee in there, and I was still drinking that as if it was red hot out of the kettle by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was made at 5 in the morning.
Yeah. Some
And
of
it
those
was
flasks are
still
damn good.
blistering hot. So, yeah, good flask with a good meal or a soup or something in there to get you through just those little bits of nibblies as well. And it's good for nutrition as well. It just keeps you going.
Yeah, no, that's right. Well, there's nothing like a good hot meal. Right, and even in the middle of the day, sometimes you need something that's substantial and filling.
Especially if you're
And
on the stop bat,
oh,
sitting there all the
yeah,
time on the stop bat. It's good when you're not on the stop bat and you might be doing something else like pedestrian patrol or something. If you're on that stop bat, it's not like you can just go, oh, hang on, I'm just going to go get something. Like you need something that you can relatively close by, like in your esky or in your little
yeah,
satchel that you'll
yeah,
take with your lunch in it, and just getting a hold of that, quickly have a drink of your soup, and then you can put it down. Most of these flasks come with a cup as well, but if you've got a good soup, you can just drink from the lid itself. It actually has a double multi-use lid.
yeah. They normally have a stainless steel insulated lid that works as a cup too. Yeah, and generally, if you're on the bat, it's a good idea to pack something that's easy to eat with one hand.
Packet of nuts, lollies,
Yeah.
a couple of biscuits or something in the top pocket. As long as it's not like a dusty environment where you're in a construction zone and you got, your bobcats and your front loaders and your tippers and all that reversing in front of you. Don't have anything that's open because otherwise you're eating sand and dust and whatever else craps in the air at the same time. So, yeah, pack yourself with some good nibblies to store in your front pocket. If you don't have a front pocket, get a shirt that does. Very handy.
Exactly. No, that's definitely the nuts or like trail mix or something
trail
like
mix,
that.
that's the one I was thinking of.
You can sort of just grab and chew in one swift movement.
Yeah. And that way you're at least keeping your eyes on the actual job and still eating at the same time. So then come your meal break, you can have your main meal instead of having a bit of everything because you're diving to get something, Like a good crew leader shouldn't have a problem with it. I haven't run into any crew leaders yet that have got any problems with it.
I don't mind my my TCs snacking while they're working. That's fine. It's a good thing. It tells me that they're actually going to be alert and awake because your body's digesting that food, and as it's going, it's stripping all the things like the sugar and carbohydrates and that out of it. Sugar is carbohydrates, but anyway, you get the idea.
It's stocking up on Red Bull to get you through the night and not the way of doing it. The amount of team members that I had, that would quite literally, you'd find them with an 8-pack of Red Bull to get them through the night. And you're sitting there going, where's your food? And they go, oh, I've got Red Bull, I'll be fine. I'm thinking, dude, wait for the come down off that.
Mate, you'll be fine now, but wait until like 20 years' time after drinking one of those 8-packs every day, bro. You're going to have no teeth left.
Yeah, 100%.
And no
sugar
no
in that
stomach.
Alone, the caffeine.
Oh.
If you drink too much, it makes you sick. So I've got a mate that used to have a Red Bull every single day. He couldn't go a day without it.
Yeah.
He would constantly be unwell for it. He's like, oh, I don't know what it is. Like, dude, it's the Red Bull. He's like, nah. So I was like, just go 6 months without Red Bull and tell me that you don't feel any different. He went about 4 months without it. And he goes, dude, I don't feel sick anymore. I was like, it's the Red Bull.
It's the Red Bull.
He hasn't touched Red Bull. He hasn't touched it since.
It screws you. I haven't touched an energy drink in about, how long's it been? Probably
Drink Prime.
10 years?
Oh my God, that's another one that's in the heading, Prime.
What is with the Prime? Oh,
it is all over Facebook now. So they became affiliated with the WWE, I think it was. And obviously now with Logan Paul being a WWE superstar, and I put that in air quotations because he kind of just walked into it.
Yep.
He didn't even come through the ranks. He just went straight to WWE and said, hey, I've got millions of followers, put me in and I'll have them converted. And he's actually increased the sales. But at the same time, they use Prime as their main sports drink, and there's a lot of sporting clubs now going for Prime. But I went to the shop and I got one of each drink, and all I could taste was sugar.
Yeah.
I haven't come across one that's apparently there's two different versions. There's a caffeine filled with sugar version, and then there's the non-sugar version. I haven't found the non-sugar version yet, but the ones I had just full of sugar. I ended up throwing out the other bottles. I was like, I'm not drinking this shit.
Neither of them are going to be a hell of a lot of good for you.
No.
I mean, they're getting that energy from somewhere. The sugar-free version is just substituting sugar for something else.
Yeah, there's something else.
Generally something that's worse for you than sugar is. It's strictly so that they can say, oh, we're sugar-free, we're diet-friendly. Well, they're not. Okay?
They're not. They can't be. They're getting sold, I think it's in Coles or Woolworths, I believe. And I went in there the other day doing my big shop, and there's literally a shelf just stacked full of Prime now. Now, when that first came out, you couldn't get it anywhere.
Yeah.
And now they can't get it off the shelf. Like the hype was here, and then the hype is now gone.
Yeah, so, exactly.
That's why you need to pack good meals, because living off energy drinks as your source of food for a 12-hour shift, or even if you think it's only 6-hour shift, I'll just take a couple of drinks. Never pack a lunch that can't last you 12 hours. So that would be my recommendation, because anything happens and then all of a sudden you're on the back foot going, well, I didn't plan for this. Oh, I've got somewhere to be. Your boss ain't going to give a shit that you got somewhere to be after, 6 hours, because they're going to say, well, you're already out there. You're only 5 minutes from the job. So just get to that other job, and then you're stuck at that next job for the next 5 to 6 hours.
Don't we know that story too well, huh?
The amount of times that happened to me, you get so excited. You're like, great, brilliant, 11:30, 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yep.
Bang, text message. Next job, next location, be here by 1:30. Your job's just finished up. We're expecting you here. Or the client turns around and they throw the curveball and go, oh, we need you guys on the next job. And we're like, well, what next job? We've only got a form for this job. And next minute you're looking at your phone and looking at your app going, oh, what the fuck?
Where did that come from?
Where did that one come from, So pack for 12 hours.
Yep.
I always overpack. So, and if you're lucky enough to get yourself one of those fridge freezers in your car, you can always keep your drinks cold. You can keep your food fresh. You can now get them for a couple of $100, and they just plug into your cigarette lighter. And that can run while your car is off if you've got an extra battery.
Yeah.
The other thing, obviously, if you're also lucky enough to park close to your job. Otherwise, you can always ask your crew leader, hey, I've got a fridge freezer. Can I put it in the car when we go to work? And is there room in the ute for tonight's shift? And I'll bring my fridge freezer. It's happened a few times to me. I've had people come up to me and go, oh, I've got a fridge freezer. Can I bring that? I'm like, it's not my ute, not my petrol.
Exactly.
The car's got to stay on anyway for the beacons. You may as well use the electricity from it.
Yeah, no, that's right. Make use of the free electricity while you got it.
Exactly right, because otherwise,
But I was going to say, the alternative is what I do, which is I keep this bad boy, or one of these bad boys, in my esky, because...
That's one of the on-track meals, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's the shift
there
pack.
You go. And they're one of our sponsors now as well. So
yes,
welcome to the sponsor list to On-Track Meals.
So that's what is it? www.ontrackmeals.com.au/in-the-zone, and then if you type in the discount code in the zone, that's all capitals 10. So in the zone 10. You'll get a 10% discount if you buy one of these things.
Look at that. 10% discount as well for the listeners.
That's all right. Go. But, so what this thing contains, and holy shit does it contain a lot, right? I'm not going to go through absolutely everything, but I'll get
go through it all. Let's see what's in this bad boy here. Let's go through it all.
So, first up we have our menu card. Which,
so does that show all the meals they've got, or just what's in that one?
It shows all the meals they've got. So
Oh, yeah, right.
this one shows the 24-hour pack, the shift pack, the snack pack, and the refreshment pack.
So it's purely, by the sounds of it, for traffic controllers? Or anyone on long shifts?
Just about. These were actually designed for soldiers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but you can buy them online.
Oh, I'll be sussing them out. Do you know if they just over there in the eastern states or?
No, they do the whole country.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to start with pulling out. We got the toilet paper that these guys give you. They give you a small amount of toilet paper. Yeah. Mate, you would not believe the amount of lollies and stuff they've got in this bag, because this thing is supposed to sustain a person on the run for several hours. They got a lot of sugary stuff, which is good for night shift because sugar keeps the core temperature up. So you got all these little bite-sized things. Like that's a little bite-sized pack of Maltesers, for example. Wow. We got pack of shapes.
So it is literally the snacks that you would require for one of our jobs. Yeah. That just grab one of these packs. I'm just actually on their website now. Their starter pack, which looks really good, used to be $85. It's now down to $77.95, and then you get a further 10% off that as well by putting in the zone 10.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
So this is obviously not something you're going to buy every day for lunch. This is something you're going to buy once and keep in the esky just in case you get called out randomly in the middle of the night or whatever. Or you get stuck on one of those unexpected 16-hour shifts like I had on Friday night, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Which is that's what happened to my last one of these. Because we're going to get to the good bit in a sec, right? I got 3 packets of Skittles in this thing. Okay.
Just for the listeners as well, how much was that pack that you are now holding?
I think this one was, the shift pack was $44.
$44, look at that.
I think. I might be wrong. It's been a while since I was last on their website, but I'm
actually on their website.
So we got another packet of shapes. It does come with utensils as well, the wooden utensils. More Skittles. Biscuits.
So it's got the chocolate and lollies all set and ready to go.
Yep. We got 2 packets of biscuits.
Now the on-track meals, they're also not just if like you're a couple that are doing traffic control. They've got a dinner for 2-pack, which I'm just checking out now for $49.95. So if there's 2 of you, it's not just the one person. They're really good.
Yeah, see, so that starter pack would have been something that lasts a couple of days.
Yes, it is. There is 1, 2, 3. There's 5 meals in that one.
5 meals, so that's a whole week.
That's
basically
a week's worth of meals for $77.95 minus your 10% off as well, which is a further.
Check this out. If you're a chocoholic like me, you get a tiny, tiny little Snickers bar in the shift pack.
Love it.
You get you get a protein bar.
I was just about to say they have protein bars on here, like a 10-pack of Apricot Summit bars. 10-pack. 10-pack of Apricot Summit bars, $27.50. That's actually really cheap, considering they're about $4 each in the shop.
Yeah, that's $2.70 per bar.
That's really good.
$2.75, sorry. Condiment pack. Of course, it comes with the condiment pack. But you got your teas, your coffees, your sugars, salt.
So all you need then is just your hot water. Which grab yourself a flask and there's your hot water.
Yeah, that's right. Now we're going to come to my favorite bit. This is what I use these for quite a few. I use these quite often because, as you know, Swagman, I get sent out to emergency jobs at the drop of a hat.
That's what happened to you Friday, I believe, which is why our episode is late. So apologies to why this episode is going up not on the Monday morning like where we did. It happens in this job where you randomly get called to emergency jobs, and that's just the way it is. So Monday night is we're going to be uploading this one.
Yeah. So when you've been on your feet all day, it's starting to look a bit long in the tooth, and you're like, oh, this shift's going to last well long. Okay, your feet are already starting to hurt. You have had it in your mind that you're going home for a nice hot dinner all day long, and that hot dinner's been snatched away from you. Well, no, sir, because On Track Meals has you sorted once more. This particular shift pack comes with coconut ginger chicken curry, along with coconut rice pudding, which you can mix together, and you actually get a pretty serious hot meal if you decide you're going to cook it in your Flameless ration heater.
Oh, what? No way!
Now,
so minus the boiling water for your coffee.
I wouldn't drink the water that comes out of this because it does have a pretty serious chemical reaction that boils it. But here's the other fun fact that I found out about these things. It runs on any liquid, not just water. So if you've run out of water and you're busting, but you're also hungry,
just
it's designed to work if a soldier needs to piss in it to cook his food.
To cook his food. Oh, whoever came up with this idea, legends. And I'm just looking at their meals now. I tell you what, a lot of these meals are really evenly priced. Like, they're really good meals by the looks of it. So you've got slow cooked Australian steak, which is a premium range for $16.95. Beef bolognese for $13.95. And they've mild chili con carne, $13.95. Sweet sour pork, all day breakfast.
Yep.
I don't know what they've got in that. Looks weird. Looks like mushrooms, tomato sauce. It looks like a meatball kind of soup. Pumpkin potato mash. Bean bolognese. So the same as spaghetti bog, but with beans in it instead of Parmesan. Spicy Mexican for the spicy lovers who like their spicy foods. Yeah. Chickpea curry. Oh, that's a nice one. Coconut rice pudding, which I'm looking at now, which is the one I think you just pointed out for $9.95.
That's the one, yeah.
Yep. And not only that, they've also got coffee-infused rice puddings.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
And if you want a gift as well for your partner and they're in traffic or construction, they actually do on-track meal gift cards, which I'm looking at, and they start from $10.
Ooh, that's cool. That is
pretty cool. That will give them enough to buy that coffee-infused rice pudding. Minus the delivery fee. So, imagine these guys being on Uber Eats.
Geez, they'd make a killing. I think they'd make an absolute killing.
For sure.
But
that is insane.
Just so
I'm going to use that myself.
Yeah, I was going to say, just so that you can see that I'm not bullshitting here and I haven't just jumped in and contacted a random company. This is actually a product that I use often.
Yes.
And those meals, even though they come pretty much pre-cooked in the bag, you just have to heat them up. Those meals are tasty. I'll give it that much. They are delicious.
The Flameless heater bag. That is insane. That is insane. So you don't even have to, you just put your meal in there and then it warms it up and you eat it from the bag, or do you have something you get to pour it in, or?
Yeah, you just pour your water straight into the bag. So you got this little like a pouch thing inside the bag.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if you noticed when I took it out, there's actually a hard bit, right? So that hard bit, it's its own. That's the heating element. You have to take that out of its little bag inside there. Drop it in there. Drop your food.
Just bring your own bowl and you're set to go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Pretty much. You don't even need to bring your own bowl.
I tell you what, the amount, the money I would spend when I do traffic control, I would probably go out and spend about 60, 70, 80 bucks somewhere to last me the whole week.
Yep.
Had I known about this, now, when I'm talking that, not only do I have to prepare that meal, come home, set it all up, ration it out, get it all set up, this, like, had I known about on-track meals, I would have actually personally gone and bought from this website and just gone, that's sorted.
Well, now you do know.
Now I know. And I think everyone should use it for sure.
Oh, man, they are... There are times when I'm actually, like, looking forward to a longer shift just so that I can have a dinner break, especially if I know that whatever's in my shift pack for that night is one of my favorites. I'm like, yeah, shit.
You're not going to believe this.
Yeah.
Check out the Ultimate Pack on their site. It's $430.
Mm-hmm.
However, inside of that, you get, oh my God, 360 Furno burner and pot set. So
What?
they will give you a pot set, a 5-pack flameless heater bag, to Summit 3-piece cutlery set. So they'll give you an actual, I'm just looking at the pictures here as well alongside it. And they'll give you a flask and a bowl and everything, and the utensils. It is a bit of everything. I'm not going to read the whole list because it goes forever and ever and ever. That's how many meals there is. 16 meals inside. That's 16 meals side in total. I think it's meant to say inside.
So, it looks like it comes with a really cool looking little cutlery set too. And like you said, it comes with the pots and the bowls.
It comes with everything. Like, quite literally everything you would need. And then you could just buy that once and consistently use it over and over.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like it
comes with an actual paraffin burner, and that looks like it can be used as a cup as well. It looks like it's got cup handles on it. Yeah.
So I'm just, I'm loving this. I'm just loving their website right now. I'm really, really loving their website. Yeah, the things I would pack, like, I feel bad going through what I pack for my lunch now because, man, you take the cake. So, yeah, I just usually get your ham sandwiches, anything that, like a good protein bars. Yeah. I usually stock up on all those protein bars. And I would also bring a couple of rounds of good sandwiches with ham and salad, a bit of cheese, bacon through it. And there's just the nibblies, the trail mix, the lollies, bit of, a couple of chocky bars. But I would buy that in bulk. I would spend enough meal allowance to go through at least 2 weeks, and I would bring no more than 12 hours worth of food with me every time. So, and I'd always take the flask with me. Like, I'm going there with a mini bloody, what do you call it, ice box usually with me. Like almost a little esky worth of food to work every time I go to work.
You know what I'm a fan of? I'm an absolute fan of those prepackaged Roma tomatoes that Reliance sells. Yes. I love them. I can chew them all day. Yeah,
because 9 times out of 10, we've done this before. Is you're going to a location and sometimes there's not a servo nearby. So, like, taking your own little emergency kit with you.
Yeah.
I would highly recommend because, especially the toilet paper side of it, because you just never know. But yeah, taking enough food with you, just because if you're going to turn up to your crew lead and say, "Oh, I need to go to the shop to get food," you could be 20 minutes, half hour from the shop, and by then there's your lunch break gone, just going there and back in travel. So you're literally driving to a shop that takes 20 minutes and then back. Most lunch breaks are only 15 minutes at the most, 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and if you're already down
15 minutes.
Exactly, and if you're already down a team member and you're meant to say have 5 on the job and there's only 3 or 4 of you on the job, well, your lunch break's going to get cut again because the crew leader's going to be like, yeah, just make it a quick man. I know you're meant to have 20 minutes, but I have to really spread it out, like give you 10 minutes now and 10 minutes later because, we're short, as you know. And if you're on a really busy job, you realistically need to just take one for the team. You can't just turn around and go, well, I'm entitled to 20 minutes because good luck getting hours next time you want to shift.
Yeah, exactly. And for shit's sake, don't try to blame the pizza girl for being slow if you were slow to come back to from your break.
Yeah, no, get that shit delivered. Most Domino's and pizza places, they do this thing called delivery. Just give them a street. Say, look, I'm on this street. They will find you. Like, just give them directions in in the order saying, look, I'm on this street, I'm doing traffic control. Give me a call when you're close by and I'll give you an exact location or I'll meet you at a certain point.
Yeah, exactly.
It paid the little bit extra. It's what? Less than $10 for delivery on most areas, if not all areas.
But, try not to rely on delivery. Go and buy decent stuff for lunch.
On-track meals. Go get yourself an on-track meal set.
Definitely. But, even going to the supermarkets and that, go get yourself like some carrots, some tomatoes, get yourself a packet of chips. These things aren't that expensive either.
No. You get most things when they're on special. Go to Costco, you get a lot of things in bulk now.
Yeah.
Which can obviously, one, it saves you money. Yes, you don't want to go in there with anything less than $100 because every time you go to Costco, you're going to spend $100 at minimum.
Yeah.
But you can buy things in there at bulk at a cheaper price and have enough to last you the whole month worth of traffic. So, again,
yeah, exactly. Like,
don't blame the delivery girl or the pizza maker for your incompetence of bringing a lunch.
Like, I have constantly got a box of Jats or some form of biscuits in my lunchbox.
Yes, the Jats keep you going, especially the ones that have got a little bit of salt on it. There's a different flavors of the Jats you can get. I love the ones that got that light spread of salt on it. Keeps you going throughout the night to munch on. You get bored through the night. It's just good to have that snack right there. It's not unhealthy. It's not healthy, but it's not unhealthy.
Yeah.
So at the same time, it's like a catch.
It's kind of like negative calories, really.
Exactly.
Your body uses more energy digesting a small biscuit than it does actually gain from the biscuit.
Yeah.
But
and if you're one of these people that get a sugar high and then become stupid on a job because you're on a massive sugar high, it can go sideways for you very fast.
Yeah, exactly. What do you say to a short break, Swagman?
Let's do it, mate.
Speaking of breaks.
Yeah. Take my 15 minutes.
I wish we had that. Once again, a massive thank you to upbeat.io for providing that sound.
Gotta love it. Yeah, they've got quite a few on there now. I've noticed they've updated their the media. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
And speaking of food, I've just put the lasagna in. Well, the wife actually did. I just had to put the settings on.
It looks like I'm having a stir fry for dinner and lunch tomorrow.
Oh, swapsies! I'm coming to yours. Just let me get a flight to Sydney.
You'd be welcome, mate. You'd be welcome.
Yeah, I'll just jump on that plane. I'll be there soon. I think it's a 4-hour trip. How long does it take you to get to that airport? It's about 20 minutes for you to get to that airport? Plus
if you
tolls,
drive like I do, yes.
Yeah, that's the other thing I noticed. You guys have tolls and that over there.
Fuckloads of tolls. I'm so over tolls.
You know Western Australia, how many we have?
None.
Zero.
None.
I think we're the only state at all in Australia that has no tolls. I'm pretty sure every other state has tolls. I don't understand it. Like, how can WA have no tolls whatsoever? And over there's just everywhere you go. If you want to use the freeway, toll.
Oh, you
Like,
got to, and it's not even like we're allowed to go that much faster. Seriously, there are free roads in Sydney where the speed limit is 90, but
yeah.
the toll roads, the speed limit is sometimes 100, but oftentimes 80.
What? So you've got free roads that you can use to get to the same place, or you can take the toll road.
Mm-hmm.
Is it
And
like a
quite,
traffic thing? Is it a
yep,
what's
yep.
the yeah? Okay, so it's
So
meant to ease the congestion.
for long distance drivers like me, for example, because I quite often drive 100 k's or more to my job sites,
Yeah,
it's more convenient, saves a lot more fuel, and ends up saving money in that way. And what it does is it stops you from being on the surface roads where you get Joe Blow who's only driving 15 minutes to work, but he's on that surface road and he's adding to the traffic there.
and if your workers have to, do you have a drive to site or drive to depot app? Like you've got the app and it says you're going to have to drive to depot for this job or drive to site, or is it
Um,
a every time you've got work you drive to depot first and then leave from depot?
so normally what will happen is we get sent the job pack the night before,
Yeah,
and that if it's a serious job, like a big job, it'll have the TGS and everything like that in it. So then we have to decide whether or not we have the right signs on the ute as a team leader,
yeah.
and if we don't have the right signs, we go up to the office in the morning and go pick them up before we head off to site. But the thing with that is that we are then paid from the minute we get to the office instead of the minute we get to site.
Oh,
So
that's brilliant.
if we have to get to the office by 5 to be on site by 7, we're getting paid from 5 o'clock.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Mm.
So all your workers, even the employees, apart from the crew leaders, obviously, so all of them come straight to depot. Because over here, we've got the app, and it'll either tell us, okay, this job's at XYZ location, but you're driving to site. So we'll
Yep,
literally go
yep,
from home
yep,
to site. But
yep.
then other jobs are you have to drive to depot, and then you go to depot, you have to get a U, swap over, all that sort of jazz.
Mm.
So that by the sound, is it the same thing over there where you got that multi-choice if you're just a standard traffic controller, or does it always come to depot regardless on every job?
Most standard traffic controllers, if they're not in charge of the job site, will be going straight to site.
Straight to site, yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so yeah, that was the question I was going to ask. Do they have to pay the tolls that come through, and then the company reimburses them, or is that a that's just factored in as part of you have to pay it if you want a job situation?
So we get what's called that's not what's called it. We get a travel allowance, but that's
Travel allowance, yeah.
depending on what company you work for. It's normally between $17 and $25 an hour, which doesn't even come close to paying the tolls by themselves if you use the toll roads.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So potentially half your wages is just going on these toll roads. That's ridiculous. Oh, that's insane.
Some of the toll roads participate in a cashback scheme, so every quarter you can claim your tolls back.
Yeah, right.
Minus GST, of course.
Yeah.
They obviously kind of allow us to get too rich at once. But
yeah, heaven forbid we make 200,000 in the year.
my last quarter, I got just under $500 back, and I don't even drive my own car for work.
Wow. Love it. Take that.
Yeah.
That's a bonus. Yeah, so that alone, that's insane. I'm still trying to mind wrap because it came up in the news, toll roads again. I'm thinking, geez, like the strain that would put on traffic controllers just getting to a job. So the difference here in WA obviously is if you want the job, the job, they do their best to try and put your job site to where your home is.
Yeah.
So they'll only allocate you a job where there's a close job nearby. They're not going to try and be ridiculous and make you travel an hour unless they say, come to depot, you've got this job, it's in this location. They always give you the option as well. You don't always have to drive to site. You can drive to depot if you don't have the fuel, or you can only drive to and from work for whatever reason. But yeah, WA has no toll roads, so we don't have that additional cost to factor in. But that's when you're talking trying to plan for meal preps, you've now also got to factor in toll roads as well. That's insane.
Yeah. Some of the people here, some of our TCs do their best to avoid the tolls, which I know this feature doesn't really matter for you, but on Google Maps you have the feature to turn off toll roads.
Wow.
And so they do that, and then that makes their what would be a 10-hour day, that turns that 10-hour day into a 14-hour day, because those
avoiding all the toll roads still on the long trip.
Avoiding the toll roads tends to add it tends to double your travel time.
Yeah. I reckon there needs to be a shake-up. So, like in the FIFO world, you can only do a max of 12 hours. And then it's like, that's also factoring the fact that, you've still got to drive back to camp as well. So they go, well, it's a 12-hour shift. But most of the sites I've been to, sometimes you're doing 13, 14-hour shifts. But usually by that point, that 13, 14 hours is you driving back to camp. Whereas in traffic control, that's not factored in. You could be doing 12, 13, 14-hour shifts and you're still on site doing 13, 14-hour shifts. There is no physical fatigue management taken seriously that I've noticed in traffic control. It's like if you're on the job, you're on the job.
It's one thing to say, your shift length is capped at 16 hours, like mine is. Come the 16-hour mark, they send
someone else.
Yep, they'll send someone else to
take over.
Yes. Sorry, got a bit of gas here. They'll send someone to take over. But in that 16 hours, right? So you've got the other 8 hours in that 24-hour period. After that, you got to factor in the fact that your drive home is going to take an hour and a half. Your drive to work the next day is going to take an hour and a half. That's 3 hours right there out of 8 hours. So now you're down to 5 hours. That's 5 hours you have to eat, sleep, brush your teeth, eat again, and get ready for work and head off again.
That's insane.
It is insane.
That is insane. Like the fatigue management. So in my last job, I was the HSEQ advisor, manager, whichever way they want to word it. I've got to be careful here not to mention names and drop businesses in hot water. As much as I'd love to right now, oh God. The stress and anxiety and the psychological trauma that they put me through for that. You're looking at team members coming in and they're dragging their feet and you're like, what's wrong with you? They're like, I've just done 13, 14 hours and I'm back here again. It's like, you're what? Like, go home, go sleep. They're like, I have been home, I have slept, I'm up again. Like, because it's so close in time frame from when the job started to when the next morning job started. And they're back again and you just think, this is insane. Like, somebody's going to get hurt. Like, I'm just... I'm flabbergasted that there is no full sort of monitoring of this. And that whole industry of construction traffic control is not monitored as harshly as what FIFO is. Like, there is a cap and it's there for a reason, because you're dealing with heavy machinery, you're dealing with things that can kill you like in an instant. And you would think that local would be more serious because you're dealing with more people, more machinery, adverse actions from the public. Yet it's not taken as serious as what it is out on a FIFO site. And
that's right. And the thing is, everyone on a mine site is trained. Everyone there is trained and they all know what's going on. If you're working on some random back street or a highway somewhere, most of the people coming through there have no idea what's going on. They're just random drivers, random pedestrians. So you got to think for them and tell them what to do. You have to be on the ball. But if you are too tired to be on the ball, then
that's where you start to go
that's when accidents happen. But
that's why it's always good to have a good packed lunch, because you need to be on the ball. And if you are tired and fatigued, say something. Just tell the boss, I'm fatigued, I'm tired. At the end of the day, if they sack you because you're tired. There is law in there. It's called adverse action, which essentially is under the Fair Work. And regardless whether you're full-time or casual, part-time, most of the traffic controllers I know of are casual to part-time, or casual with full-time hours, or casual with part-time hours.
Yeah.
You're still covered under the law. They can't just bill you full of hours and expect you to just keep saying yes. As long as you've got a reasonable excuse as to why you're rejecting the help, or rejecting the shift, I should say, then they can't penalise you for speaking up. Because if you were to injure yourself, well, number one, they're not taking duty of care seriously, because they're putting you at risk, and then they're putting everyone on site at risk because you're too fatigued.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I always tell them, if you're tired, speak up, say something. Now, if that cancels the job out for the client, that's not your problem. Like, at the end of the day, your safety is number one. There's been too many traffic controllers injured or killed doing this line of work. It is a serious job, but the safety side of it is not taken as seriously as what it should be. And people just consistently, they just consistently take shift after shift after shift without taking into consideration the meals that they need to take with it, the alertness that you need to be on for the job. It's just, I'll just take the job. It's nuts.
And this is where a good, healthy meal will beat out a diet of Red Bull and fucking donuts any day of the week.
Because there is a point during the night and during that fatigue period, where Red Bull will not boost you back up, because your body is physically that tired that you need a good meal to get that nutrition back in the body to try and wake you up again. Like, your body will drain on empty, and you'll just go on a sugar high and just drop. So take a good meal. Make sure you're prepared for those long shifts. Otherwise, don't start the long shift.
At the very least, like my greatest piece of advice is keep some long life stuff in your lunchbox.
Yes.
Like I said, I constantly have a box of Jats in there. I constantly have a couple of tins of tuna, or like some sort of creamy dip or something like that for the biscuits. And water, for God's sake, bring enough water.
Water, yeah. I usually carry around a 5-litre bottle of water with me, and I'll either have it with me on the actual job sitting next to me, or I'll leave it in the car if I've got like Powerades or Gatorades or anything like that in my box. I'll always carry a couple of 600 mils of bottles of water in my lunchbox anyway. And if I know it's going to be a long shift, which most of the time it is, I put a couple of ice blocks in there. And it just keeps it cold as well. But if I know I'm going to be on a big shift, I'll take extra food. I'll put some long life items in the car, make sure like it's always stacked up. And I'll take my fridge freezer, and I'll have a couple of meals and a couple of drinks in there with my 5-litre bottle of water going as well. So it's just be prepared. It's not a job to make easy money, which people think, oh, I'll be a traffic controller, it's easy money. It's far from easy, and it's definitely not easy money. Like, you work for the money you earn, and most times that's $28 an hour.
Something like that, yeah.
So is it worth $28 an hour for you to be fatigued on a job because you can't be asked getting the right meals on shift? Is the question you're going to ask yourself.
You go up to anyone on a cold winter's night shift. I keep going back to the cold winter's night shift, but that's because this is the most prevalent.
Yeah.
Right. Who's the person that's going to be shivering their ass off, and who's the person that's going to be standing there quite comfortably and wide awake? The person that's going to be shivering their ass off is the one that's had 3 Red Bulls and has now realized that, holy shit, cold drinks and sugar and caffeine are not such a good thing late at night.
No.
The guy that's standing there quite comfortably is the one who's had a good, healthy meal, and, you know, whether that meal be what's hot, or whether it's, you know, the heat has come from their body creating heat from
the food they've sustained,
digesting that food. Yeah.
And having yourself, obviously we've touched briefly, having yourself a nice high-vis jacket as well.
Yeah.
And just not trying to go out there in your normal, high-vis shirt and pants and going, I'll be fine. It's not so cold. But come 2 o'clock in the morning on a winter's night, you're going to feel it. So,
although I am sometimes that guy because, I grew up in the snowy mountains here of New South Wales. But that's and so many people ask me about that. It'll be the middle of the night, and I'm standing there in long sleeve, just a long sleeve shirt and
no jacket,
pants,
no nothing.
and they're like, "How are you not freezing?" And I'm like,
I'm the crew leader. I've got the heater on in the ute. I've just been standing here because I knew you were walking around the corner.
I always go, no, well, firstly, I'm used to it, and secondly, because I'm used to it, I know what I should be eating to combat the cold.
100%. The wife would usually remind me, have you packed your lunch?
Yeah.
So even if I forget to pack my lunch, I'll get reminded, hey, have you packed your lunch for the next one? I was like, I've got to get that sorted.
And again, we come back to the old on-track meals, because say you've been out previously on a shift and that shift's taken you well into the night before, the last thing you want to do is pack a fucking
another
meal.
Lunch. Yeah. And I'm literally looking at those bundles, and I tell you what, they've got value for money. And they've got a massive sale on. I'm just looking now. The biggest one is on there, 30% on the Summit bars. They used to be $39.50. They're obviously now down to $27.50. But again, if you use the promo code in the zone 10, you'll get a further 10% off as well. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. 100%.
And I think that's all capitals too, that promo code, in the zone.
All capitals.
So that's ontrackmeals.com/in the zone, and then just punch that code in the zone 10, capital letters.
In the zone. Yes, it is. I'm just actually typing that now.
Swagman's doing it now.
I'm doing it right now as we speak. And sure enough, it comes directly to their website as automatically. Let's have a look here. Yeah, straight up, added the discount. And then when you get to the checkout, add the promo code in there again in the zone 10, and it gives you a further discount. So, for instance, I'm going to do this $77 meal. Let's go to add to cart. I'm doing this off the whim.
Yeah.
Flameless. No, I don't want the Flameless bag right now. Just purely just going to do it in the zone 10.
You should get it. It is the coolest thing to watch cooking your food. Seriously, that thing. It's like it'll sit there, right, and you'll question it. You're like, "Are you doing something? Are you going to work?" And then just suddenly the whole bag will puff up and it'll just go. And you'll hear it boiling away, and you're like, "That is cool. That's fucking cool."
That's like that satisfaction just watching paint be painted onto a wall. And you're just like, oh yeah, that's actually quite satisfying. So I've just done that in there. $77.95 is what it used to be. It actually saved me $7.79.
Oh.
So look at that. It's like a further. That's not 10. That cannot be 10%. That's more than 10%. Get in there quick before they notice it.
Well, we've got another couple of food mentions as far as sponsorship's concerned, don't we?
Yes, we do. Your Dizzylicious cupcakes. Now, that is a good snack, I reckon, to take on for a traffic job. Having a couple of cupcakes on the side there can't hurt.
Oh, hell, any event too. She's actually a trained chef, so she knows what she's doing when it comes to baking.
Now, can she do butcher food? Maybe she can start on-track meals type thing as well. Hey, you want to start like a little pack if we're in the zone?
A while ago, I did try to start something similar to on-track, but we'll get into that another time.
Yeah, that could be another episode.
Yeah.
So the other one we've got is Lakeland's Simo's Butchers down here in Perth in Mandraways. So you got Lakeland Simo's Butchers, where all your fresh meats are. You'll see his ad that's been put up on the In the Zone page, and we're going to do this for Dizzylicious and On Track Meals as well. We'll make a Facebook post, and you guys can see all of that as well. So Thank you to all those that are jumping on the Facebook page. It has grown massively over the time.
Exponentially, yeah.
It has taken its time to get there, but we are finally there. I'm just trying to click into it now. Just having all these pop-ups while I'm trying to go there. Let's have a look here. So we've grown substantially from what was like 50 likes, 50 followers to 128 likes, 239 followers. That is insane.
That's not bad for a podcast that's only a month old.
That's literally a month old for our followers. That's awesome. So thank you to everyone that is following. I just got a message saying thank our wedding caterer, but I cannot remember who they were. So we have a listener who is listening in. So I'm just going to send a message to our listener going, who was this wedding caterer?
Fair enough. Yeah. But you know who does cater weddings as well? Dizzylicious.
Yes.
As far as I know. Well, she's not cater them, but she can do the cakes.
Yeah, do the cakes. I like that. But we've also got, so in traffic control, our backs, chiro, you get sore. You need a chiropractor. Go suss out for us down here in Lakeland's Mandurah area, chiro, Melissa Morgan, Lakeland's chiro. Yeah. Check them out. Been brilliant for me every time I've gone and twisted me back out or woken up the next morning in pain. I've just gone there and she knows what to do.
I could.
Body health is important.
It is, especially in our line of work.
100%. And last but not least, we have swag. So someone with a goal, like we are on the path.
Yep.
Someone with a goal, massive sponsor. They are donating to us every month to keep this show going. So thank you to Swag for that.
Big thank you.
It is. We weren't expecting it. I certainly wasn't expecting it, but they've come out and said, "Yep, we'll help you guys. We'll sponsor." And then On Track Meals as well jumped on as well, and thanks to Cranky, managed to pull that one out of the hat. On Track Meals, and not only did it make a good topic for us, but it's also a good sponsor. Thanks for coming on board, and thanks to all our sponsors that are coming on board. The list is growing. We only had one for a while. We're now up to 5. So it is growing slowly, but in a month. It's not bad. It's really good.
I hate to cut you off, but how do we get onto Swag?
So Swag, you can go into Swag headquarters on Facebook page, and on there you will see a couple of links on there that will actually lead you to the rest of our official pages. So it'll take you to our Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and it's just growing substantially. You can also, there's a competition running, and they're giving out a free exclusive Swag hoodie. So once that hoodie comes on, that's it. It says, "Do not disturb someone with a goal." Grab yourself one of those, $100, and for a short period only, if you mention In the Zone, you will get 10% off. So that is a 10% off a Swag hoodie if you mention In the Zone in your order. So when you get to the checkout, mention In the Zone, and you will get 10% off that hoodie. So check that out when you've got some time. There we go. Love it. It's not just a hoodie, it's a mindset.
Exactly, and it's a fantastic idea. I'm still saving up for mine, by the way. I'm going to buy one.
It is. They're comfortable. They keep you warm. I recently gave away mine to a person named Tim Hayden, who is the hagley.west.com.au. He is an entrepreneur traveling the globe right now to sell his brand of watches, but he also has a clothing brand. I was lucky enough to actually meet him when he was here in Mandurah. He decided to come down to Rockingham, and I went and spoke with him, met him, and I went, you know what, you're someone with a goal. I'm actually going to give you this hoodie. This is my own personal one. I cleaned it up, I washed it, sent it off to him. They go well in the wash. I tell you what, they're really good in the wash. Didn't shrink. Chucked it in the dryer, and he loved it. So, but he does have his own clothing brand, hagley.com.au. Go check him out, 100%.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah.
Alrighty, Cranky. That looks like. Have you got anything else we want to mention tonight?
Let's see. I think we do. What about listener stories? No, I didn't really get any listener stories, but God, do I have plenty of my own stories.
Oh,
So
we've
do
got
you,
plenty of
Swagman.
those. We could go for hours on those stories. It's so funny just watching crew, like I said, like probably 4 weeks into the job, and 9 times out of 10 they're like, "Oh, can we go to the cafe? Can we go to the servo to get food?" It's like, where is your packed lunch? Like, oh, I didn't think about it. It's like,
didn't think about it.
Really? You're coming to work, you didn't think maybe just to pack a lunch? Like,
I thought we'd be near a shop. Well, you thought wrong.
Felt wrong. Traffic control. If you do your research on your company, that's the other thing people need to do. Research the company you're working for. Find out who their clients are and find out what areas they service when you're in your interview. That'll give you an idea of what areas they're actually working. If they go, oh, we're in the Perth metro area, for instance, as an example, or we're just local, you know you're going to be able to get to a shop. But find out a bit like, oh, do you do any rural work where you can't get to a shop? If they turn around and go, oh, you can get to a shop at any of our sites, then, okay, you might be all right. But just take a packed lunch.
The problem with that is that they say, oh, you can get to a shop.
Yeah, you could.
The trouble is, say you might get sent to a job where there is only one shop within like half an hour's drive. And let me tell you something, you are going to get over that one shop very fucking quickly.
Because they do the same thing day in, day out. Our chip hopper's not working and the heater's not working. So unfortunately, it's just sandwiches. And you look at the sandwiches and you're like, yo, just have that fucking water bottle right now. That water's looking real good in the fridge. I'll grab one of those. Because sometimes they won't have Red Bull. They won't have the soft drinks. They won't have, not the soft drinks you want anyway. It's always Schweppes or some crap. It's not usually Coke and Fanta. And 9 times out of 10, you might not even get Powerade or Gatorade. So
it's always like one of the... It's always one of the rubbish ones like LA Ice or something.
Yeah, it's always something crap that's in there. And if it's only a small deli, you're literally going to be paying, that $10 to $15 price for a packet of chips that they've got on the shelf. So
back to the $17 chips.
That's back to the FIFO price increase. That's the same with delis. It is quite literally, pack your lunch. You're going to get well over it very fast. And if you don't have a food truck that comes around, that's also going to be a problem. So, yes. Pack a good meal. Take you 5 minutes, 10 minutes to pack a good lunch. And honestly, there's no effort involved.
It's worth it. It is so worth it.
Save yourself some money.
You will thank yourself in the end. Like, seriously, just something easy to throw together. Biscuits, fucking trail mix, a couple of boxes of nuts, things that just keep
prepare your shift. Be prepared for a long night, and if you're not gonna have a long night, great, then you've got it there for the next time that you're gonna have it. So just be prepared. That's,
things that keep
say it enough.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Things that keep for a while, things that are filling. Definitely get things that are filling, like lollies and that. Sure, I do carry lollies in my lunchbox, but that's mostly because sugar
I used to
lows
carry a jar of lollies, and I just fill it up with the family pack. Usually, when they're on special, $5. Fill the lolly jar and just have that sitting in the car, not in the direct sunlight, because then they'll all stick together. But if it's going to be a nice, cool couple of nights, then just leave a nice insulated, well jar of lollies in your car or in a lunchbox or something.
That's it. If it's a cold night, it's unbelievable what 1 or 2 lollies will do for your core temperature.
100%. And it tastes so good when you get the munchies.
Yeah, exactly.
that point of the night where you just need something to snack on. You're like, oh, I just got the munchies. I just had a nice meal, but it's like that midnight snack period where you know you're not hungry, but you just want to fiddle around with something because you're bored out of your fucking mind because no traffic at that point.
Yeah.
But you're stuck until the client says, all right, home time. The only lucky people, I reckon, on those long shifts are the TMA operators.
Yeah, they're in there with the heater going, and
they're sitting there with the heater.
Netflix
they got lollies, Netflix, mate. They got the whole works in there. So that's the job to go for. If you're going to do traffic control, suss that out. TMA operators. There's a demand for it at the moment.
Old mate's in there. He's found a way to hook up a power inverter to bloody get his kettle going and everything.
100%.
You know, you go up there,
times I've gone to a company and actually gone to the TMA truck and there's a kettle and there's a mini sausage
the little
roll
butane
heater.
burner in there.
Yeah, butane. Because you're stuck in that truck the entire time.
Yeah.
And if you have to get out to piss, the whole job has to stop.
Yes.
So you can't just unhook and go, I'm just going to go for a piss, because if you're off having a piss and your truck gets hit and you're not in the truck, how are you going to explain that one to the investigator that comes out and go, where were you? You're like, I was taking a piss. Well, did you tell anyone? No. Well, you're now liable for anyone that's been injured on that job site because you got out and didn't tell anyone, because your main focus stuck in that truck, harnessed up on a 3-4 point harness. The whole point there is to alert them if you get hit. You're there to honk the horn because you can see danger coming up from behind you, or you've just been hit, so you can actually do something to maneuver away from the workers. So it's, don't just get out the truck because I'm just going to go make some lunch or something. Like, be prepared. Can't stress that enough. Be prepared for your work day.
It's like that old song in The Lion King, be prepared.
We heard that one on the weekend. They can't wait to be king, and right at the start, like where the intro of that Disney, I'm lifting my son up in the air. I was the only one in the audience that done it, but there was a couple of laughs because people could see what I was doing. It was funny. Oh, I should have got that on camera. It would have made good for a highlight reel.
You know what? I just can't wait to be king. Gets me, it for some inexplicable reason just gets me riled up. That song is my fucking war chant.
Yeah, you play that on the way to work. Old lady pointing the finger out the window. She's driving past. Can't wait to be king.
Roll down the window, and I just can't wait to be king.
I love it. Yes.
Well, anyway, we had better leave you guys to it. You have been in the zone with Cranky and
the swag man. Biggest thing. What are we doing for the next episode? We got something rolled up for the next episode.
I have a few suggestions to run by you off the air.
Okay, sweet. Let's do it. All right, guys, we're out of here. Take it easy.
We are
Enjoy
out
your
of here.
week. Be safe.
Brought to you by
all our sponsors.
Brought to you by all our sponsors. Brought to you by On Track and Swag.
Swag, Simo's Butchers, Lakeland Simo's Butchers, Dizzylicious. Love it. All right, thanks everyone listening. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to Cranky for.
Sorry.
You hit the wrong button at the wrong time again, didn't you?
I did.
All right, guys, we're out. Take it easy.
Take it easy.